They had dressed their best, polished shoes, and shining smiles, carrying tickets they had worked hard to earn. Jason and Jasmine, teenage twins, were about to experience something most kids their age could only dream of: their very first seats, in first class. But before they could sit down, the air turned cold. A flight attendant blocked their way, her eyes sharp with judgment. Whispers filled the cabin, passengers staring. Was it just a misunderstanding or something far more sinister? Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Jason Ellis and his twin sister Jasmine, both 17, had grown up in a home built on values of dignity, education, and resilience. Their father, Marcus Ellis, was a quiet yet influential man, a CEO who believed his children should earn every milestone, never inherit it. This trip was meant to be a celebration. Jason had secured a scholarship to a prestigious university, and Jasmine had been recognized for leading a community project. As a reward, their father gave them something symbolic: first-class tickets for their journey to visit family. It wasn't about luxury. It was about pride. The twins prepared carefully, Jason in his jacket, Jasmine with her favorite book tucked in her bag. They arrived early, excited and nervous, stepping onto the plane with bright eyes. What they didn't know was that their greatest lesson wouldn't come from a classroom, but from the skies above. The twins entered the first-class cabin, their hearts racing. The plush seats and quiet atmosphere felt like another world. But just as they were about to sit, the flight attendant moved in front of them, blocking their path. Her tone was curt, her words wrapped in suspicion. "This section is for first-class passengers only." Jason held up his tickets, but her eyes barely glanced at them. Around them, passengers turned to stare, some curious, others smirking. A couple even whispered, shaking their heads as if the twins had wandered into forbidden territory. Jason's throat tightened. He tried to explain, but the attendant's voice grew louder, cutting through the cabin. "These seats are reserved. Please return to the economy." The humiliation stung deeper than any words could. Jasmine clutched her brother's arm, her face pale as the judgment in the room thickened. They could feel it, the unspoken assumption that because of their skin, they didn't belong. An older passenger muttered, "They always try this." Another shook his head, refusing eye contact. Jason's pulse raced. Should they argue? Should they step back? He thought of his father's lessons about dignity, but in that moment he felt powerless. The plane seemed smaller, the air heavier. The truth hit hard. This wasn't about a ticket. It was about who they were. And just as their hope began to fade, a figure appeared at the gate, one who would turn the scene upside down. Marcus Ellis stepped forward, his presence commanding without a word. He had been delayed at security, but now he stood tall, ticket in hand, his eyes locked on the attendant. Silence fell as whispers rippled, many recognizing him. The CEO of one of the nation's leading tech firms was not a man easily ignored. He walked past the murmurs, placing a steady hand on his children's shoulders. Then, with calm authority, he showed his ticket and said only, "They are with me." The attendant's face drained of color. The passengers shifted uncomfortably, realizing the weight of what had just happened. The power dynamic flipped in an instant, exposing the truth. This wasn't a mistake. It was discrimination, laid bare for all to see. The flight continued, but the atmosphere had changed. Jason and Jasmine sat in their seats, no longer just two teenagers on a trip, but symbols of something greater. Their father didn't raise his voice or demand apologies. His silence carried more weight than anger ever could. Yet inside the twins, something shifted. The sting of humiliation burned, but so did a new fire. The understanding that prejudice can strike anywhere, no matter how high you climb. This wasn't just a lesson for them. It was a mirror held up to everyone watching. Because racism doesn't hide in shadows. It walks in daylight, dressed in uniforms, carried in whispers. And the question remains, how many more times will it happen before the world truly changes? Tell me, what country and city are you watching from? Take care.